I am Bernice Sidran Griffith.
I am Dr. Clarence Griffiths.
Been married for 48 years.
Hi, my name is Shane Gibson. This is my lovely wife Suzanne. And we've been married for 14 years.
My name is Jules Sobian.
I'm Candice Guppy Sobian, and we've been married 3 years. Yes.
How did you guys meet?
Well, I used to be a teacher at a school called Osborne High School in the Quasi. I was about 18 years old as a high school. And at the beginning of the term, I saw a young lady walking towards me. Now that I found attractive. And she looked my age and so. She was coming from another school because we are both Seventh Adventists and we don't believe in writing examinations on Sabbath. So she was at the other school, she was in Form 5 and there was a qualifying examination that you had to write before they allow you to sit what was called Senior K, which is equivalent to CXC 3. And because they had this examination on our Sabbath, and she could not qualify without doing the examination, she decided to change school. And that's how she came to my school. So when I saw her, I went, as a teacher, I went and looked at the school roll, the records, and I saw what the name was. And I found out some things about her. I knew her brother, and through the brother I got opportunity to visit their home, allegedly to speak to the brother. And so I got to meet her and we talked.
Alright, we met at church, right? So she started studying the Bible, and I probably got into church and I saw her with a group of other sisters. Maybe they were about to get into the Bible study or they just finished the Bible study. But she did catch my eye for sure. She from since then she was definitely my type. Definitely my type, right? And I saw that, but I also recognized that she was not Christian because she was studying the Bible, or at least she didn't make a serious commitment to God at the time. So that I had to operate with wisdom, but I definitely made my presence felt. Right? So I think I had I'm not sure what I had on me at the time. I had maybe something to eat and something to drink, and I offered her, it was some Moby, I think it was Moby.
It was orange juice.
Orange juice. Yeah. And some other thing. And a burger, she wanted half or whatever the case is. And I think that was the first time we actually interacted.
Well, we met in Zen nightclub. It was a random Wednesday night, and I went with my friends, and Jules was there, and a mutual friend introduced us, and Jules told me, he sent me a friend request on that. And he was just reminding me to approve. And that was it. That was it. That was the start of it.
Would you ever use a dating app or website?
When we got married, it was before dating apps, So I have to kind of put my mind back into those days. I believe if I were to go back in time and consider the possibility of an app, like an online opportunity, it would be something I would pass on, just because I wouldn't think it could be as immersive as it is today. Like you could, if you do a lot of these apps that allow for face-to-face interactions and so on, you could get to know somebody reasonably well, but it would still be like a long distance relationship where there are so many blind spots. It will be difficult to make a true assessment of an individual. For that reason, I probably would not have done it.
The dating service? I don't think
either.
I don't like love at first sight. I want to interface with that individual. There's so much to talk about and know a person. Because when you begin to live, it's a different story.
I think that friendship leading to marriage should not be something rushed, because you can hide who you are in the short term, but longer term, it will come out if you are seeking to find out who the other person is.
It's nothing like seeing people within their natural habitat. Social media, online stuff could be a real thief-head because you really get to select what you present. You put forward your very, very best. Your best face, your best outfits, your best everything. And so if it is you're relying on the internet, if you're relying on social media profiles to help you to get an understanding as to what you're seeing, you could be lied to. And not intentionally lied to. It's just that what you're seeing is not the everyday person. What you're seeing is the very best. It's the highlights, as they say, of the individual. And so it's real risky, boy. I think it's risky.
What are your views on public display of affection?
Well, I see nothing wrong with public display of affection, depending upon how extensive it is. If I were to go somewhere and meet my wife, we are accustomed greeting one another with a kiss when I'm leaving home or when I come back home. So if I were to meet her at the side, I just greet her with a kiss. There's no prolonged, thing, but I just greet her with a kiss, and we go to church. Some people, we hold hands when we're walking into the church sometimes, and they say, you're still doing that? But we are comfortable with that, so it all depends.
Public displays of affection.
That's Candice has introduced me to the world of PDA. She introduced me to the world of PDA because I felt like I guess male thing, macho thing, hold hands and kissing, but that was her from the start. So ideally, I was introduced to that because it was genuine affection. So ideally, it became a thing of the past. Maybe at the start it was like, do we really have to hold hands walking into the party?
Oh gosh. But when he got into it, he really got into it, Like I think there was no limit for him, and even for me there is a limit. Because like for example, there's a difference between, affection, public displays of affection and pretty much displaying things that are private, So for me, there's a line that I believe shouldn't be crossed in public because I believe some things should be kept private between husband and wife, But yeah, I love holding hands and, stealing a kiss.
She loved to smooch.
He introduced me to smooching, Yeah. He would always end his notes smooches.
Nah, but she's Queen PDA.
Yeah.
But yeah, even up to now, we still hold hands and we still kiss.
I resisted touching it,
For me personally, I don't have a huge problem with PDA. I think one, the individual's intent. If their intent is to impress other people by expressing love to each other in public, that's wrong intentions. If it flows naturally from you, between the two of you, and both of you naturally want to express that love within reason, we're not talking crossing the lines of vulgarity and just making other people uncomfortable, then it should be okay.
Yeah, I think definitely it depends on the individual, the couple. So it really have some people who love PDA and it have some people who are not accustomed to it.
The person that is comfortable with it shouldn't force it upon the person that is uncomfortable with it.
I have no problem with it either. But as you said, talking about holding hands, people would say, they're old already, why are they holding hands? I have a word for the young. We were here before you. We were here before you and we taught you. now and stream Jenny Come Lately.
At the time, what were the external factors, or if there were any like major internal factors that motivated you, inspired you to get married?
Yeah, so from the first time I saw him, I felt like it was love at first sight, and I always, I remember telling my dad one day we were going out, and I looked at him and I said, Dad, that's going to be your son-in-law. And my father looked at me and said, you crazy? But I was like, Dad, that is the man for me. So there was just something about Shane that I just knew that I wanted to be able to grow old with him, make memories, spend the rest of my life with him. So because I loved him.
Well, the fact is that all the time we were friends. I had an interest, she had an interest, but we were not focusing on marriage. I didn't think I was prepared to be married. And I didn't know that she herself did not think that she was prepared to be married. Just going around, finding out one another, and when I was finished doing my course, then I thought that I have an interest in marriage. But at that time, I think that I had found out who she really was. And there were certain things that I considered important for me if you have to have a long marriage. One was religious persuasion. I believe that two people who are getting married or intend to get married would have a stronger relationship if they have the same religious persuasion. And of course, there are other things that one considers. Well, everybody looks at beauty and physical things, but that's important. But character, and also the person's method of communication. Some people, if you make a joke, they can laugh, but others are brawlish and I find, for me, it's offensive. And the person's ambition. You don't want somebody who does not have some goals in life. And so essentially it's a combination of many things: the physical, the character, whether the person is truthful or not, if they get easily irritated and things like that, they're very brawlish, they like to be always in somebody's house, yes, it's important. So, and I found that we both share the same concept of life. So.
What I realized is that Candice was a really unique sort of woman, where she would have been able to communicate how she felt. So it kind of gave me this perspective, this new perspective about women. It was not just about the glam and the glitz and he's a party man, or he always in the clubs or whatever. Candice gave me a whole fresh new perspective of a woman and a woman's beliefs. So a lot of my understanding about relationships and how it should be preserved and how it should be carried about really came from my interactions with Candice. So I would say after a while, understanding the type of woman that she was, it kind of gave me more direction as a male, I would say.
I grew up in a single parent household. The relationship the marriage between my mother and father didn't work out. So from early o'clock they split. I was 2 years old when they split. And so in my immediate environment, I didn't really have an example of what a good marriage would look like and so on. They had one or two couples that I would see and be like, that's nice, However, when I became a Christian, I became a lot more, I guess, self-aware. And I grew to understand, based on my observations, what would make a good wife. And so I started to develop like a list of criteria for me in terms of what I should look for and what are the things I would need. And when I looked at Suzanne, she possessed the different criteria that I needed for wife.
I think it's just about understanding the bigger picture or the long-term goal. I just think the youth may be very short-sighted. Yes, it's great to have a lot of women, and I guess in the same breath, you know, a woman may say it's great to have the benefits of having a lot of men. But if you're looking at a long-term goal for yourself, even as an individual, you'd realize that you have to go up another level in terms of, you know, I would like to establish myself, I would like to have myself and my wife, I would like to have a family, I would like to purchase a house. Like, I don't think that that's a thinking now for the next generation. It's just like how popular I could be and
I don't want to one woman. Give me plenty woman. That's what the next generation.
Yeah.